Fife Property market update, and this is for the week commencing the 4th to the 10th. Now, if you haven't had a chance yet or you missed it, go back and watch last week's show. It was a fantastic roundup. We looked at the whole year of 2025 and also the month of December. So there were some fantastic numbers in there, results, and this is why we always say do your homework. Don't get bogged down with the kind of noise or what you are hearing or seeing. Look at the facts. And that's why it was brilliant. We pulled all of the figures from Rightmove, all agencies for the year of 2025 and December. And we gave you an insight into what that looked like for the Fife property market. So if you did miss that, you can go back and rewatch it. And if you have any questions on that, please do reach out. Likewise, if you're watching this and you have any questions, put them in the comments, pick up the phone. We're more than happy to speak with you. But this is a roundup of the 4th to the 10th. We are well underway into January. So this is where we will take a look at what was happening last week for almost the kind of first week of the January. Now, obviously, this doesn't account for ourselves because we were open over the festivities. We had fantastic results. And again, I discussed that in last week's show about the Boxing Day bounce, about the offers that were accepted. But for most agencies, it was their first week back in the business. So we will see over the coming weeks an increase in numbers. So this just gives you a little bit of an insight. So it should come up on the screen for you. So this is for all agencies that use Rightmove across Fife, and it's broken down into micro regions, as you can see. So you can see that last week there were 68 new properties made available, so new instructions on Rightmove, and there were 71 properties sold. So last week there was more buyers than there were sellers in the marketplace, which you maybe weren't expecting because everybody thinks the kind of tail end of the year and the start of the year is not a good time to sell. Oh, it's quiet. Nobody's thinking about moving. It's cold. It's dark. My garden doesn't look great. Now's not the time. Absolutely not. And this is where it is key to go back and watch last week's show. But it's great that yet another week shows that there is more buyers in the marketplace than sellers. So honestly, if you are looking to get moved, do not be waiting till spring, summer. What are you waiting for? There is buyers in the marketplace. You waiting means you are going to go to market at the exact time that everybody else is thinking of. And it's as simple as supply and demand. If you're entering the marketplace when there's a lot more stock available, you obviously aren't beating your competition. You're actually getting lost within your competition. People tend to act slower, as in buyers, they tend to act slower when they have more options. Likewise, they don't always put the best foot forward. They know that they have the upper hand and they will take their time. They will maybe be cheeky with their offers or dip their toe in and test the marketplace because they know if they miss out on yours, they just move on to the next one because there is so much more availability. So if you are serious about getting sold, getting the best result, and getting moved on with your journey, now is the time to be starting that process, getting your valuation, understanding what your agent will do for you to get your property sold, and what that result could look like at the end. If that sounds like something you are keen to do for 2026, reach out to us. We are more than happy to guide you through that process so that you can obviously get results like this. So to break it down and just skim over some of the micro regions, the one that stands out to me is the East Nuke. 6 new instructions, and actually 6 is quite high considering first week of January, and actually some weeks within the summer months and the spring summer only have 6 hitting the marketplace. So actually for the first week of January, 6 new instructions hit the marketplace. A little bit surprised at that. 2 properties sold. So it was 2 properties had as offers accepted and they are now showing as sold subject to concluded missives. St Andrews, really low numbers with only 3 new instructions versus only 1 property sold. So only 1 offer was negotiated in St Andrews. Now, I will also say, while this is obviously great to see for sellers and that there is buyers on the marketplace, yes, there is a lot less transactions that took place, but don't be alarmed if there is a micro region that sticks out because we do say 1 week does not make a trend. And there is people that are obviously getting themselves in that mindset now where they are thinking of selling. So when we look at Leavenmouth, that was strong. You had 7 new instructions versus 5 properties sold. Levermouth will continue to be a strong market, and you'll see that if you did watch last week's show with the investment and what's been made available. You really are seeing that coming through week on week, month on month, and some great results. Dunfermline, yes, higher transaction numbers than obviously the rest of the micro regions, but slightly less than what we do tend to see. On a good week, Dunfermline will average into like mid 50s, sometimes 60s, but they are creeping back up, and we will see that, I'm sure, as the weeks go on. Glenrothes 6 versus 8, and Kirkcaldy 13 versus 15. So there's nothing really there, I would say, apart from St Andrews, that screams out and stands out as really low or anything like that. But as I say, this is literally, for some agencies, their first week back, and they're just getting back into the swing of things. We will now start to see, as the weeks go on and the months go on, as we get to obviously spring, the numbers will increase. But I cannot say it enough. If you are thinking of selling in 2026, do not wait. You need to be going to market now. So that was the figures for last week. We will now just do a quick show of what we actually accepted an offer on last week. This is a property that we accepted an offer, negotiated, and is now over the line. Now, it should come up on the screen for you in just a second. Now, there's probably no surprise of location after just obviously saying about the Levermouth area. It is a KY8 property, and this particular one is in Methil. Straight away, you can see the curb appeal of this home, hence why it was popular. Maple Gardens, it was a corner plot. It was a 3-bedroom, semi-detached property, moving condition, ready to go. Corner plot on a substantial plot. You can see all of that garden space there and all of this driveway space as well. So you've got an extensive garden, 3-bedroom. It's a cracking family home. So that one was on the market for offers over 150,000, and the new family are located to the area. So it's great to have that over the line. Obviously, the sale for January, but as I say, we did have a lot going on Boxing Day. And over that festive period, we actually sold 4 properties, and all high price points as well. But that is what we had an offer accepted on last week. Now, in terms of coming soons, this is properties that I have been out to, or Perry has been out to, and are coming to market with ourselves. Now, there is one particular property that is coming to market, and we are keen to get this property. We are keen to get it live because it's a property that we actually have previous history with. We're fully aware of the property, what it benefits, its footprint, the location, the lifestyle, the demographic, the buyers that will want this property, and we are keen. It has had a full renovation and it is stunning. It's a semi-detached property within Anstruther. It's a 4-bedroom, 2 reception, 1 bathroom, corner plot, large driveway. Curb appeal of this home is incredible. It is immaculate. It's almost like a show home. There is nothing that you need to do to it. Great as well, there's no really a forward in chain, so it's just a case of, if you like that property and you want that to be your next home within Anstruther, that's a family home, that means you need to do nothing to it, we can get you moved fast, and that is fantastic. So you could be in for spring, summer, enjoying the garden and everything that this home has to offer. So do keep a lookout for that pre-portal. I will be doing that by the end of the week, and it is in Anstruther, so it will be on the East Nuke page. Make sure you're following all of our social media channels, because that way you will not miss out on a property when it comes live. We do top secrets, we do coming soons, we give you little sneak peeks while we're doing the marketing. We also then obviously have our pre-portals, so we give you enough teasers and temptation on our social media channels so that you know when properties are becoming available. Yes, still call the office and register, and we can take all your details, we can do our due diligence, and then we can get you matching with properties. But the key is to be following our social media channels. We have one for each area within Fife. So wherever you're looking to purchase your next property, follow the relevant page. And if you see anything that ticks your boxes, reach out to us. You need to act fast when you see that top secret, the coming soon, or the pre-portal. And make sure you watch the pre-portal right through to the end. It's a full video walkthrough showcasing all of the property. At the end, we tell you the price point, and that is the key to keep watching until the end. But that is a snippet into what's happening and taking place. Now, before we round up, let's do a discussion of the shows that took place. So as always, you have the Wealth Creation Show every Monday, live 12:30, and it's with Jim Parker, one of the UK's most successful property investors, and Richard Cook, the lettings director. Now, yesterday's show was all about hitting the button on wealth creation. Um, there's always that moment that people talk about, the one where you finally hit that button. Not a real button, of course, no kind of red plastic or kind of where you get the click, nothing like that. It's just almost like that quiet, internal flick of a switch almost that says, I'm done doing this hard way forever. You just get that flick of the switch. Most people imagine wealth comes from a sudden kind of breakthrough or something drastic happens. But actually, in real life, the button is rarely that dramatic. It's pressed in small, almost boring moments, choosing to learn instead of scroll, to save instead of spend, and to build instead of consume. Hitting the button doesn't mean you instantly become wealthy. It's not an overnight. It means you stop outsourcing your future to just chance and crossing your fingers and luck. That'll be a fantastic show, and especially to kick off the year and really start the year. As I say, it was Jim Parker and Richard Cook. It was yesterday, but you can still watch the rerun and watch it. Likewise, if you have any questions or want to share a story, please do so in the comments. We always love to hear from you, and we will come back to you. Another show that took place was Add Value to Every Room in Your Property. Now, this is a show that Perry and I did, and it was how adding value to every single room and giving you those designer tips helps to push up the price. Because even a room, let's say, of perfect proportions, it can perhaps look out of shape without the right presentation, which then can seriously lead to a home's saleability. And you would be surprised. Yes, it's a great size room, but how has that furniture perhaps been laid out, or how has it been decorated? Does it make it feel small? Does it feel cramped? Does it feel that? Does it feel narrow? Actually, is the room too big and it feels echoey and it doesn't feel like a home? And it's all of this that we need to tune into and really understand. Because ultimately, if we don't get it right, it's just going to prolong the sale. Interior designers and people within this market know this far too well. There are days that we'll spend exploring different ways to add value to every room, including perhaps tricky ones or quirky ones or something a wee bit outside the box. Positive perceptions and practicality are key ways to sell in swiftly at the highest possible price. And when they do work in perfect harmony, it's far easier to win the hearts of potential buyers and viewers, rather than them coming in and not getting that feeling or automatically starting on a negative. So what Perry and I did is we went through and we kind of broke it down into different subtopics, and we gave you a kind of collection of design techniques and ideas to add value to every single room. Now, what is key about this is it's also a lot of inexpensive things. It's things you perhaps maybe have in the home, or actually it's not actually purchase anything. It's just working with what you've got. But there is great things. There's obviously the charity shops. There is Facebook Marketplace. There's even family and friends. Somebody is always doing a clear out somewhere. So it's also because obviously start of January, we always feel the pinch after obviously coming out the festivities, but you're looking to obviously make improvements or you're looking to market. Doesn't have to be expensive. There are inexpensive things that you can do that have a big impact, and that's where that show is fantastic to go and watch. Likewise, if you have any questions, comments, or even any of your own hints and tips, share them. We would love to hear from you. But that is us for another market update. We'll obviously see you throughout the week on our social media channels. Please do reach out if there is anything at all. But I will see you next week for another market update. Take care. All the best.